It's not working. I don't know why.
It's
I'm
saying
not
you're
able.
unable to join. Shall I try again with? Okay, let me say accept again. Accept again, because I had a notification that it's you're unable to join. I'm not sure what that means. Let me try and invite your personal profile. Yeah, I keep clicking accept.
Me too, but it
Doesn't connect. Let me try to bring your personal profile. Let's see how that works. Here on Facebook, we're already live. We're trying to get to set up the Instagram, guys.
Okay, wait. It doesn't. I don't know why it jumps. It doesn't let me.
Now I invited you your personal account.
I just send you a request.
And I keep saying this Tromboranga is unable to join. Oh my God. Again, I do.
Okay, I'm gonna change then. Wait.
Mm. My interviewee is Joaquin Artega, the leader of Tromboranga band that we're having for elSol this year. We're trying to connect. Okay, and it says again, Joaquin is unable to join. Maybe we should just cut this, switch phone on and off, and try again. Okay. Now I see your request. Wait, your request. Go live.
I don't know why. Okay. Oh no, wait.
Yes, I think I got you. Yes, this is you personally. Success. Great. So now let's just do computers on silent, and let us know, guys, if everything is okay, if you can hear us and see us. For me, this is interesting because we don't know each other personally. Everything was sorted out through Mauri. So I'm really curious about you and about your career, and how you built a band that is actually traveling worldwide, also to other continents. How do you do this in this generation without having 50 years of history?
Wow. Well, actually, I do have 50 years. So I am 50 years old.
Okay.
Well, the I think the trick, if you want to call it trick, is just discipline and constant. You know, I've been a musician since I'm young, and since I was born in Venezuela, but I arrived here when I was 25 years old to Europe.
You speak with an American accent.
Because I lived in New York also. Yes,
Okay.
and that's why. But the thing is that I always was working with a lot of artists that they were bringing from Colombia, Puerto Rico, etc. And you know, my name, and I guess I knew a lot of people of different festivals all around Europe because you know, it's been like already 25 years here.
Okay.
And playing with lots of different bands. And then I did Bloque 53.
The band was actually in my studio in Warsaw once, in my old
Yes,
Salsa Libre place, right?
yes, at Salsa Libre. Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that was my place.
So with that we played a lot also. But with Tromboranga, it got like very big. Like since we sent the first album of Tromboranga was like, you know, we got lucky. It got like everyone was playing it all around, and DJs were playing our music. Our music, it wasn't even released. It was like
Okay.
just copied, and DJs
So
were
how
already putting it.
can you tell me, because I don't really know the music business so well. So when you get a group of musicians, right, to start making music, a lot of the times, like my friends around, they start with covers of other songs, other artists, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so when is it that you become a band that actually has their own repertoire? Do you have to release a CD first, or
Well,
go to the studio, produce a track, or how do you become
now everyone produces a track, but before
it had to be an album.
My generation used to record at a studio with cinta, with like a tape thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like now that you use computers and you just record, and you can even record at home.
Of course.
You know, so we recorded with Bloque 53 at the studio, and I used to like make copy of CDs and send like, and I'm not kidding, around 500 CDs to companies and to festivals, and you know, with a resume, you know, a long time ago. You don't do that now, because
now it's all just Instagram. Send me a link for the Instagram.
Yeah, and I used to call, you know, to the people, and hey, I am Joaquin from this and that, and trying to move. I used to work with Bloque 53. I worked a lot, like, you know, 8 to 10 hours a day, just like going to the mail office and sending albums, you know, after recording, obviously. But
do you have another profession also, or is music your main one?
I've been a musician since I'm a little before I'm a teenager. So, and I studied music since I was a kid. So, but I did study architecture because of my parents, like, wanted me to study something
serious, something real. Yeah.
Yeah, like music is not serious, right?
Of course. So, just art.
And I also did illustration and graphic design because I like art a lot. I like to paint. I used to like to paint. I haven't painted in a while, but I also did study that. And then I also did study music and modern music here in Venezuela, in New York, and here in Spain. Yeah.
Can you tell me? I'm always interested in the history and social aspect because here in Poland, you know, because of the government, we had a huge inflation, and everybody was saying, "Oh, they're going to make another Venezuela out of Poland," meaning, you know, that the financial system is destroyed somehow. Can you tell me, like, because Venezuela has entered a huge crisis, right? Many years ago, because a lot of people emigrated. Like, I talked to a lot of people who quit in that time.
Yeah, but the Poland. I mean, I don't know too much the Poland situation really, but I think they're quite different though, because in a way, I mean, I don't want to get into politics. I really don't want to get into politics, but the situation in Venezuela also sometimes it's not only about the politicians. For me, it's also about the people in general, and also the countries around, like especially United States, how they pull strings on the political situation in the countries surrounding them. You know, we have a lot of oil, so Venezuela has been known because of oil, and in a way we have exploited a lot, and a lot of countries also exploit Venezuela because of it. So and that's kind of the situation also. Let's say when I left Venezuela, like 60% of the country was poor, you know.
And it's not. It hasn't been better, I think. No.
Then. And well, I don't want to get into political thing here because people are going to start to that's. for me, it's not better, you know. Like obviously, I left Venezuela. I had a lot of work in Venezuela anyway. I left Venezuela really because of it was very dangerous. Like I could see people killing friends, get killed or raped or whatever, and it was getting closer, you know. And I think I didn't want to stay in a country like that, even though I love Venezuela. I really do love Venezuela. I miss it a lot. I haven't been there in 8 years, and it's a beautiful country, and there is a lot of talent, a lot of amazing musicians, not only salsa but a lot of musical genres. So yeah, it's a country that I love a lot, and in a way I wish I could go back more, you know.
I'm asking this because, you know, for instance, in Poland, the person that helped us grow the community was an ex-American Puerto Rican soldier based in Germany who married a Polish wife, because there was in Germany a lot of American bases, you know, like in the Cold War, and later they stayed. And then he helped, he was from Puerto Rico, develop the salsa community here big time. So sometimes these social and political things actually influence how the culture is moving.
Oh yeah, sure.
So
We also have a lot of Cubans in Venezuela.
mm,
So a lot of
yeah.
even in the 60s and 70s, a lot of musicians from Cuba used to come and
Okay.
play, and they stayed, obviously.
So
So
you said you lived in New York and you also played there in New York, right?
yeah,
Did you?
yeah.
But
New
you
York,
did not have your own band.
no, I wasn't prepared for that, and I'm lucky I didn't get to do a band there, because I have a lot of respect for musicians in New York, especially. They are very competitive. Especially, I was in 1990, between 1990 and 1994. So musicians especially in New York, were very competitive. It's like they are on your back waiting to get you out of the place, and sorry guys, but it's true. I mean, a lot of people can say it. So it was like that. Now it's different. Now I feel like we go to New York to play a couple of times a year. So I feel that now, even though it's still a little bit of competition, I think after the 9/11, like a lot of musicians, people changed. The mind changed it a little bit.
Danny Mendes music is laughing, I guess. Is he from New York?
Yeah, especially the new generations are more. Well, even the older generations also have been more now, because I see it, and you feel it. But when I was there, you could feel that there was a lot of, everyone is smiling at you and everyone hug you, and yeah, but under behind the scenes, they were like, oh, I gotta get this guy. What is he guys doing here? He's coming from Venezuela. It's going to competition for me. He's going to take my job. Especially when I guess when you're young. So I felt it. I never wanted to have a band there anyway, and I also went with a humble student mentality. So I just wanted to see how things were working. I got the chance to go to Boys Harbor, which is a school where the musicians for Tito Puente were teaching, and so it was quite a nice experience.
Can't wait to attend elSol festivals. Thank you. Looking forward to having you. So what does it take to build a band?
Well, being a little bit crazy. Okay. You need everything. Sometimes I talk very raw, so I don't want people to think bad about this, but it's true.
No, it's okay. We like
being Latin, and I'm from Venezuela, and I said openly, like we have our own time of moving around, our own codes, our own timing. People arrive late, people drink, I don't know, some other people like to be with a lot of women, etc. Some people are in drugs. That's everywhere anyway. But here in Spain, it was very hard to get people that I could trust.
Okay.
Because for me,
musicians.
I'm talking about musicians. So I didn't want to have musicians in the band that were on drugs or arrive late, or let you down on the middle of a trip to play in Poland, for example, right? It's very hard, because some musicians are mercenaries and they just want the money. They just think about the money. How much are you going to pay me? And I go. But for me, that's not making music. If you're going to do music, obviously you need to live out of what you're doing. But it cannot be the main priority, the money. If you want to join a band, you got to be a band that really inspires you to do things. For me, Tromboranga was never meant to be a band to play, really. Bloque 53 it was. But Tromboranga, we actually recorded on one day the demo, because it was, like my dream. I want to play something with trombones, because I love the sound of trombones. I always loved trombones. And so finally, Vladimir came from Venezuela, and I met Vladimir. I never met him before, who's the main trombone player for us. And I told him, listen, I want to record this. And he's like, yeah, man, let's do it. He's a very versatile guy. But it was very hard to get, I knew a lot of musicians and I have a lot of respect for them by those days. But maybe some of them didn't want to work with me, Some others were in drugs. Some others were very irresponsible. Some, it personally it wasn't fit to me. But I started meeting people, So I met Rafa, and I said Rafa is a good guy to have on a band. Freddy, I used to work with Freddy already. So it was like this, and then I met Vladimir, and that was it. That was like, and then a concert with Bloque 53, we met Diego Coppinger, the Cuban singer, and there was like a click with him. We got very good friends right away, and you are the guy, the other guy to play. We have two singers, Freddy, the Venezuelan guy, and Diego, the guy from Cuba, and you are the guy, man. So we ended up getting together, and that was it. I don't like to say lucky anymore, but I really found the people who was very good. Like their main goal wasn't, I want to get paid and I want a lot of gigs and that's it.
Well,
it
here
was just the music.
Danny is saying to make a band is like constructing a perfect family.
Yeah, and family has problems all the time. So it's normal to have problems, but you have to know how to get around it. And as a band leader, it's very hard to find this, because finding someone who's going because of the music and then the money later, it's very hard, because all the musicians, they just want to get paid. I don't care if I don't care if I have to play Celia Cruz, or I have to play, I don't know, some other music, or samba or reggaeton. I just want the money. That doesn't work for me. They have to love what they're gonna do. What they're gonna.
Yeah, you need a certain level of connection. I mean, I feel the same with organizing the festival. You can book any artist. If you pay them, they're gonna show up. Or you can always pay them double, even more chances. But to build a certain trust, a certain feeling of a common work, right? That's
exactly.
There is money. There will be money. Sometimes less money, sometimes more money. But we're all involved anyway. That's
and sometimes and obviously it's not about one album or one show. In the case of dancers, it's constant, being constant on what you're doing, and being also very reliable of what you're doing, because you can talk to any musicians of Tromboranga, and if they want to say, they can say it here, and the past musicians also. I always been reliable for them. Like I doesn't matter what happened, they get paid. Doesn't matter what happened, you are in Tromboranga. Doesn't matter what happened, you get your hotel. It's because I work also as a manager, and I've been there.
Okay, when things are not covered, you mean, like?
Yeah, because the first 2 years of Tromboranga, well, actually more, the first 4 years of Tromboranga, I wasn't even earning money. Everything was invested on the project per se.
I can imagine.
Luckily, also I work teaching, so because I teach music also, so I got that side.
We have a request from La Maimbe, 1975. Shall we let them in? That's the band La Maimbe today.
I don't know. Sorry.
Because I don't know. Un saludo desde Argentina de la Paraguaya más tromboranguera. Okay. That's fine. I think they disappeared.
Okay. La Mayimbe, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I remember when I had one of the first Cuban bands, and I'm a reliable organizer. I pay everyone, and they were chasing me for the envelope before they could go on stage. And I said I was going to pay. It's fine for me, but the way, like they were used to being cheated all the time, because they almost attacked me like, oh, we're not going if we're not getting it, acere.
Acere. Yeah, well, see,
and for me that was really weird, because I had all the best intentions. It's just sometimes it takes time in the elevator to go to the 10th floor and up and down, So I realized there must be different kind of experiences.
I totally understand musicians, even dancers, because I sometimes work with dancers also. Well, you do, obviously. And you know how it is, that sometimes some organizers, not only of salsa festival, like music festivals, etc., they disappear afterwards. Yeah. Or a lot of them, I'm not going to say names, they just don't pay. They just, I'll pay you next year. Or they work something out. Or I'll pay you in the month. Or,
Okay.
It's, I mean, I this is raw, how I talk, but it's like that. Like
Mm.
I have got with an organizer taking a gun out of me, like for example in
Oh my
Ecuador,
God.
because he didn't want to pay. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I have got into these situations. I have
Shit.
been I have been waiting 6 hours in a hotel with the band in the lobby, and the guy doesn't pay. And he's like, "No, wait, we're coming to pick you up. We're bringing the money. We're bringing the money." And the guy doesn't come. And finally, he comes with the money at 6 a.m. And when he handles the envelope, I count it, and there is like some money missing. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm missing. There's some money missing. Oh, I can pay you later." No, it's like, you've been, we get into those fights all the time, those type of
You
situations.
gotta,
So you
gotta be
really,
right.
as a
This is.
band leader, you
I
could take a
really have
decision.
to. I really have to make sure I deliver the money in the right timing.
You know, you have, so as a band leader, like you have to really make sure, like, listen, guys, we're not gonna play until
Mm.
maybe it could be 50 euros, but those 50 euros are
That's
my
the
50 euros or
principle.
your 50 euros. So he's gonna pay it, and when he's paid, we play, or if not, we just don't play. But it's gonna be his fault. It's
Mm.
very hard decisions to take sometimes. I have had to pay the band once, all from my
Mm.
pocket. Well, more than once actually, but some organizer, I'm not gonna say where, but
Mhm.
because everyone's gonna know, didn't pay us, and we didn't do the concert. But I
Mhm.
had to pay the musicians because the musicians were already there waiting, and they
You
have
travel.
already been there, and they are professionals. We're not like 15-year-old like wanting to play in a rock band.
Mm. Mm. Mhm.
So yeah, it is hard. It is hard, but luckily we are. I'm not a. I do management. I do a lot of management, all the management
Mhm.
for Tromboranga, but I didn't do any management course or anything. I've learned all this through 30 years.
Life. Yes. I
So,
also. My education is. I'm a linguist. And everybody's asking me, how do you organize? I'm like, it's just common sense. You just need to predict the reality and prepare for what you're predicting. It's not like coding. You don't have to learn
yeah,
this.
and
It's
exactly.
just life.
And every month or every day, your contract is have to change because, oh, now there is a. I don't want to say it like this, but for example, Latin America, you have to cover a lot your back.
Mhm.
Like you got to make sure that your money is first. You got to get the reservation of the hotels and the flights. Make
Mhm.
sure the flights are real. We have got this is funny. We have got flights that are not true. Like you go to the airport and it's like, no, that's the reservation doesn't exist.
Okay. Or it was just reservation. It wasn't paid for or something. Oh my God.
They did the reservation, but never paid, so it didn't went through.
It's
So we
crazy.
are in the airport waiting. I
Mm.
actually it was us and New York Sextet was
Uh-huh.
in. It was like 12 years ago, 10 years ago. Was waiting in New York also, and the guys read, listen, our tickets doesn't work, and he's like, I just found out our tickets also didn't work, and the organizer saying, no, they're gonna work, don't worry, like this, all day
And
waiting
that
for
was
us.
on your way out,
That
obviously.
was on our way out. We didn't play,
Just,
obviously.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
The festival was a lie, and the
Mm-hmm.
people were waiting at the door. It was a Paris festival. I'm not going to say the name of
Oh,
the. No, it
I
was a long
was
time ago.
okay
Maybe you were
because
there. I don't know.
I was in a festival also. I think it was 2011 where suddenly they switched off the sound because the sound wasn't paid for, and we were performing to silence.
There was Tromboranga and New York Swing
Mm-hmm.
Sextet. If you look around
Okay.
internet, maybe some. I don't want
Okay.
to. I'm just very. I am very respectful for the names,
I
but
think
the
that
situation was
organization doesn't exist anymore, obviously.
no. He actually does. He does though.
Really, under
But
another
they
name.
do under another name, and they do only African stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paris is famous for that, Kizomba, and sad to hear those horror stories.
Yeah.
Arkin.
So I mean, it's good to tell to know them now,
Mhm.
but it wasn't funny at the moment, and but at the same time, that's why you do like legally contracts, like or agreements, that the money has to be there, certain time before the tickets. You have to recheck the tickets. You have to recheck the hotel. Once, I mean, I have so many stories. Like once we arrived to the place and the hotel, no, there was no reservation at the hotel. So they take us to another place, and it was like one room for 12 persons. like very hostile, cheap hostile type.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was like, no. I was like, guys, we're not taking this anymore. Like, get out of here. From we go out and it's like we're not playing. Like I had to really step on the, because we are not. Like I tell you, we're not 15-year-old.
Okay.
And
Okay, tell us about your best experience then too.
best experience. Wow.
Mhm.
Well, there is a lot of them, but as experience or as a guest, like.
Whatever you want to share.
I think experience like playing live in Cali, for example, it's amazing.
Mhm.
Every time
Mhm.
we go to play in Colombia, in Cali especially, like people treat you like more than family. Like they get you there. I don't know. It's just a feeling of warmth of people. They invite you to their house. They give you food. It's like you go with a luggage full of like bottles and gifts because people are really
Okay.
into it.
Okay, that's sweet. Mm.
I think the Japan tour we did was amazing. I think it was the perfect tour because everything was on time.
Mhm.
Everything,
Oh,
but like
the
5 minutes,
Asian discipline. Hmm.
very very nice. Yeah, I mean we have had Australia was nice also. Some gigs in the USA have been very nice, but at the same time very with a lot of sacrifice. The first tour
Mhm.
we did, now we go twice a year to USA, but the first tour we did, it was like a whole month in USA, and that was hard. It was hard because there was a lot of time there, uh, with a lot of problems involved between transportation and
Mhm.
free time also, because obviously a whole month we weren't playing the whole month. We were like 5 days free, 4 days free.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, but it's been a nice. We could do a series with seasons with
Okay.
Tromboranga, yeah, because also with the guys, it's very funny. Like, we are 12 persons
Mhm.
traveling, and
Mhm.
everyone has their own personality, their own religion, their own
Mhm.
political statement, their own, but
Okay.
we respect each other a lot. But it's very fun. Like when we are like, uh, sometimes they leave us like a house or two houses together, and we have to live all together in a house. It's
Mhm.
like cook. Who's gonna cook today? Oh, so we know who's the one who cooks good.
Okay. Who's gonna clean? Mm. Uh, so what's your relationship to dancers, and what do you see when you go to a congress versus, for instance, playing I don't know, in a club or for Latin community?
Well, the difference is quite big.
Hmm.
Uh, when you play in festivals, like let's say European festival for dancers, uh, I think we are lucky in a way because a lot of dancers don't only come to dance to our music, but also comes to see the show because we do a
Hmm.
show. It's not like
Yes, they
Tromboranga. You're not gonna
definitely.
see the musicians just reading because
Hmm.
they're not gonna read. They know the music by heart. So I
Hmm.
want them to do a good show. Like they go up, they play with the people. We like the percussion section goes out and play with for the people. Like it's very active. It's
Hmm.
like a show. It's not a concert per se. It's a show.
Hmm.
So for the festivals, it's very nice because normally it's more calmer in a
Okay.
way for us. Uh, but when we play Latin America, it's wilder. It's very wild because
Hmm.
people are very emotional,
Okay.
and they see you and it's like they get very Tromboranga, and then when you go out to play, people sing the songs from top to bottom
Okay.
by
Yes, the
heart,
language, the language. Mm.
yeah, and they play like like they sing like it's ACDC, like okay, And so it's very nice to play there because you feel that people gets really into salsa, but also
Hmm.
depends of the type of show. Like when these big Latin festivals is like that. When it's small clubs, they have sometimes the VIP section, which I really don't like too much. I mean, I
Hmm.
understand it, the reason why, but it gets you that sensation that you have like a lot of VIPs just sitting down, like like watching. it's very
No
calm.
emotion. Mm-hmm.
They do emotion, but they got the bell, and then they start playing the bell, but there's more space. So
Mm-hmm.
the sensation is different when we have a VIP. You know,
Okay.
even
Okay.
though they are very emotional, but it's a different thing that when you go to I don't know, like we go to Ecuador or Mexico, the festivals are like big crowd, like
Mm-hmm.
10,000 people, like and singing, and it's also backstage. When you go backstage, like everyone wants a picture and everyone wants an autograph, and they go and they scream in your ear, and you only want to go to the hotel and be like quiet. The
Mm-hmm.
good thing about the festivals, the dancer festivals, like you end up the show and you're more calmer.
Okay.
You don't have
So many
that,
people,
it's-
unfortunately.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like we went to Ecuador now. We gotta have like walked us out like four policemen plus guards and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like big. In festivals, dance festivals is more calmer. You finish and then you can relax.
Hang
The
out.
volume is not that loud. In
Mm.
Latin America, we are loud. It's loud.
Okay.
I think it's even louder than rock. When you go
Okay.
to a salsa
Okay.
place.
Crazy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying that's my experience. Maybe some
Okay.
people will, but that's my experience. So now, actually, I'm more calmer. Like when we finish a concert, I really rather go to a quiet place. It doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
if there is people to chat and we can chat and maybe drink something, but I don't like the screaming. I really really don't like it anymore.
Would you say you're more of an introvert or extrovert?
I think I'm an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm still analyzing myself now these days. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm 50-year-old now, and I'm like I don't know why. Like since COVID, actually, since the COVID year, I think all of us have changed, or some of us have changed. My
Okay. Mm-hmm.
mentality about having more time for myself, because I dedicate 24 hours to Tromboranga.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I mean, I'm all day Tromboranga or teaching. But
Okay.
now I'm trying to really focusing also on myself, because I my health was affected by Tromboraga. We got 13 years already. Those first 10 years were very high
Mm-hmm.
energy. Especially, I'm not gonna say put myself like a victim. It's not a victim, but especially for my part, I have to managing publicity, doing the videos, editing videos, producing the albums, calling all the musicians, making
It
sure the
comes
musicians
it
are
comes at
okay.
a price. I understand what you're saying, that it's that it comes
It,
as a price.
it
It's
comes at very high price, not only economically, because I have spent,
no, I
I
mean
have to be honest,
emotionally,
economically, but
personally.
emotionally and energetic also, it's very tiring,
Mm-hmm.
because you
Mm-hmm.
work a lot, and then this is not talking about of the musicians of Tromboranga, because they are lovely, they are very lovely people, but it's when you work hard 24 hours a day or 18 hours a day, to be realistic, on a
Mm-hmm.
project, and then you go to a play, I don't know, Poland, to a hotel, and then someone of the band arrives late or shows up late because he's drunk or whatever. It's normal for me to get mad, because for me it's a foul of respect. You are putting a lot of effort to a project, that also they are part of it. So it's very important for me that punctuality, that they are very well dressed, no drugs, no alcohol after
Mm-hmm.
the concert, or trying to. I know it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like very military to me, like strict, but for me, if it wasn't because of that, Tromboranga won't be where we are now. Luckily, not luckily. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of effort, like I said.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I totally
So
understand.
since the COVID, we stopped so radical, because we were playing almost every weekend, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like stopped like for 2 years. We didn't have concerts. There was like no concerts where to do, only online. And when we restarted, it was a very big hit for me, because I started again on that loop of lots of work and trying to get
Mm-hmm.
the gigs and done, get the money, pay the musicians time, record, blah, blah, do a lot of things. And then I said, wow, my heart started to, even though I
Mm-hmm.
don't smoke, I barely drink, and I'm very I do sports. So So I started to train every day, like 2 or 3 years ago since COVID, 2 hours a day. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if the building is coming down. I'm going to train.
Mm-hmm.
I take those 2 hours for me to like really focus on me. Because before I wasn't doing that. Before I wake up, work, like do the video, did the video, compose, do call this, organize the rehearsal, organize the contracts, send the visas. The visas was like nightmare. Get to do all the musicians the visas, and it's very hard. And then when you go at night, you have a baby, and then you have to put the baby in the bed, or all the problems, pick him up, etc. Then do the garbage. I don't know, so many things that you have to do.
It's crazy. Like artist life, it's very hard to combine with family life. I have 2 kids. Because it works at night, and then the baby wakes up, kids wake up. You never get the time to rest.
It's impossible. It's impossible. The reality is impossible. I mean, we all manage to go through. Yeah, but
Yes.
there is some spots where you're gonna miss. I mean, it's I've been doing management, doing tour management, doing the publicity, composing, moving the musicians, getting the rehearsals, producing the album, plus teaching, and then you have a baby. So it's impossible. Like some parts are you gonna miss, and then that's why I now I really put effort more on myself first, because no one else was doing it.
Exactly.
Like if I was having a heart attack, well, you're having a heart attack. Oh, everyone worries, but Tromboranga needs to keep going. So now what I do is that I take 2 hours of the day for me, and then I work teaching, and then I dedicate to around 4-5 hours to what is Tromboranga. Because if not, before, like I was telling you, I didn't have a night either. I didn't sleep. Like I went to sleep, but my phone was always on because I have to manage the schedule of Colombia, because we moved a lot of concerts in Colombia and Mexico, Los Angeles, LA. That's 8 hours behind. When we had the tours, that we still have tours in Asia, it's 12 hours, 10 hours.
This is why I keep all my notifications are silenced, because otherwise I wouldn't sleep, because I also work with dancers, from the US and so on, different time zones. And
so
also customers.
I mean, I still do some stuff. Like I wake up Tuesdays and Wednesday at 4 a.m. because I teach to Australia and to Japan.
Okay.
And some USA. So I do 2-3 hours from 4 to 7.
Who do you teach?
I teach dancers, actually.
Okay.
And there are some percussionists, but I teach dancers musicality and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that you're doing classes. This is an interesting.
Yeah, and that's another thing, that I also travel a lot doing the musicality courses. I've been going through Thailand to Australia to everywhere. So that's another thing that also I love to do. Actually, I love to teach that, and I love to organize stuff to teach. Because for me, when you teach, the good thing is that it's not even about the subject you're going to teach. It's about seeing how you're going to make those people understand what you want to make them understand. Because like if you have 50 people in the class, none of them are the same. Maybe someone is uncoordinated, the other one doesn't concentrate, the other one is coordinated but doesn't hear, or doesn't understand what he has to hear. So that takes time, to see how everyone in the class breathes, and how to, maybe with you, I have to work more in coordination, but the other guy doesn't even understand what the bass is. So with dancers, for me, it's very interesting. Even though I dance, but I'm not like a professional dancer. But it's really, for me, it's like a goal, like a challenge, trying to make sure that these guys that a lot of people comes to me and saying like, I dance, I do a lot of things, but I don't feel the beat. I don't know where the pulse is. I get lost. It's like, but you've been dancing like 8 years. Yeah, but I really am lost. But I don't say anything. I have teachers like that. I'm not going to say names, but some teachers, some actually kind of well-known teachers.
But it's good that they ask for knowledge.
It's good. Yeah. and also the story and the difference, what
Mhm.
from mambo to cha 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 to changui to bachata, etc. Because it's I think it's very nowadays we have that um, how you say resources to make the
Mhm.
people understand more than before. Like when I started studying percussion, it was like you go to class, you could pay $100, but the guy's just gonna play, and maybe he didn't know how to explain it to you. You just play, and you have
Mhm.
to copy and
Yes,
record it with a tape. With a tape.
didactics didn't exist even in
No,
dance. Just
no,
repeat what I do, right?
no YouTube, no anything. It's
Yeah.
nothing. You just go
Or
record.
it was, for instance, for us, Europeans, for instance, the way of moving. Oh, it's just it's their natural thing. It's genetic. The groove, for instance. The,
Exactly.
it's
Which
with the
not
mother's milk. You're never
Yeah,
gonna get it. For instance, where this is a certain way of
which is
moving and
not
feeling
true.
the
Which is
exactly.
not true. I mean, genetics plays a lot of role in it, but doesn't make that you cannot do it.
But I think it's more the
No,
upbringing. When you're surrounded by music and movement,
ex-
then without even having to put a lot of effort, you kind of suck it in. And
for me,
yeah.
I always compare it as it's a language.
Mhm. Yeah.
If you want to speak good English, like you say, like you speak English like an American, it's because I learned English in New York.
Mhm.
If I would have been in Britain, I will
Yeah.
speak like this. Or it depends where you learn. So if you want to sound more Cuban, then go with Cubans and try to, if you want to
Mhm.
sound more dance more Puerto Rican, you go dance Puerto Rico. That's a very good example. It's like a language. If you want to
Mhm.
learn German, you're not going to go to Japan.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is schools of German in Japan, but you need to go to Germany. It doesn't
Mm.
matter how much theory you do. You got to get involved in that. It's like,
We have a question from the community.
hmm?
Hola Joaquín, me gustaría saber si tienes algún libro que hable sobre cómo la música llegó a lo de ahora
Oh,
y, y qué contribución tuvieron los músicos venezolanos en el aporte a desarrollar la salsa.
ah, um, I I don't have a book. I'm actually working on doing a
Mhm.
book, basic musicality and music theory for dancers. But
Mhm. Nice.
yeah, it's a big effort. But time consuming also. Um,
Imagine.
but if she asking if I do have or if I can recommend a book for
If
that,
you can recommend, or I mean,
Woo!
she
There is
said
lots.
si
Check that out.
tienes algún libro, so maybe,
There is
yeah.
lots of books. Like, I mean, books. There is a lot of them. Also, it depends of how you say. Like, for example, this is first of all, books are good, but also are dangerous because books have a vision. Okay, so that's
Mhm.
why it's always not only see one book. Like, if you get a book from Cuba, it's gonna have the Cuba vision. If you get a book from Puerto Rico, it's gonna be like Puerto Rico is the only thing and it's not like that.
It's like following one instructor also, you're only gonna learn
Exactly,
one way.
exactly. So I would recommend you, read a Cuban book, get the Cuban frame, you know, but also boom, go to Puerto Rico and get the Puerto Rican frame. But then if you read from, I don't know, let's say, the book of wait, see if you read. Let me just move I don't know if I have two cameras here, but if you see the salsa book from Crónica de la Música de un Caribe Urbano from Cesar Miguel
You
Rondon,
can
that's
you
a
can
that
you can show the book now. Can you pull it out and show it?
the thing is like I've moved that book now and all of them are gonna come. But
There,
wait.
okay. Okay.
Oh well, actually, yeah. Wait.
There is another question that I would
See,
like
for
to ask.
example,
Yeah.
this book, there is several. There is also this one. It's the same.
Okay.
There is a big version with a lot of picture, which is very nice, but it's a collector's item. I don't think they do it anymore.
Mhm.
And there is the small one, and these are in Spanish and in English.
Mhm.
Uh, it's called the Book of Salsa, Cesar Miguel Rondon. He's gonna love me because I'm doing it promotion. But it's a good book, but it's more focused on the New York view, even though it's made by a Venezuelan guy. Cesar Miguel
Okay.
Rondon is a guy from Venezuela. Okay. Uh, There is a very nice dictionary. It's called. It's not a book. It's a dictionary. It's this one. It's this Diccionario Enciclopédica de la Música Cubana. It's got four tomos. I don't know, 4 books, and they are. This is very. I love that one because it's Cuban 100%. So all the terms, all the musical genres, all the musicians, dancers, etc., are there. And it's very good, but it's not easy to find. They only sell it, or maybe don't even sell it in Cuba. I don't know if the edition they edit it anymore. But that's a good book.
I would like to know what you have to say, because sometimes, when I talk to people, we talk about Latin music, and I'm not an expert, obviously, in music. And then someone will always say, "But salsa comes from Cuba," or like that the other Latin Spanish-speaking nations cannot kind of own the salsa as well. So, what do you have to say to this? This talk,
Well, there is always
Cuba, Colombia, Venezuela, New York. I mean,
yeah, I think we all, as music lovers, we own a lot to Africa, and for me, Africa is the mother in a way. Then, like if we put in, let's say, priorities, I don't want to say the word priorities, but like say in a scale, Cuba was like the womb, like the where the baby was going to born, and it was born actually, because obviously all these rhythms and traditions came from Africa, because obviously the of the slavery, and they mixed with the Spanish, with the French, with the locals, the locals Indians that were there, and this only didn't happen in Cuba, and that has to be clear. It happened in Brazil, it happened in Venezuela, it happened in Colombia, it happened in Panama, it happened everywhere. Okay, the thing is developed differently in every country, and that's why Cuba is quite famous, because in Cuba was developed changui, guaguancó, rumba cubana, mambo, cha-cha-cha, etc. But depending on what, like for example, traditional changui, it's pure Cuban, even though it's done with some instruments from Africa. Okay, so we always have this dilemma. Oh, this is 100% Cuban. Well, yeah, the invention, the fusion was made there, but some instruments was what the slaves remember they used to play in Africa, and they developed the same instruments with what they had in Cuba. Yeah, so it's Cuba. It's very important. Cuba, there is no doubt it's 100% was where this was born. But then, obviously, Puerto Rico, República Dominicana. I mean, merengue from República Dominicana. It has a lot of obviously it's African influenced. It's like if you hear the music from Palo, also in Venezuela, also if you hear all the music from the coast. Like for example, in Venezuela, it was more all the Congo were more present in Venezuela than even in Cuba. In Cuba were more Yoruba, also Congo, etc. But in Venezuela, there was no many Yorubas. But in Brazil, yes, they did. And in Yoruba, they have the same religious stuff, working a little bit differently, but they have the same thing. It's the same with the music. It's the same with the food. Like if you go to Colombia, you have la bandeja paisa, yeah? Bandeja paisa is rice, beans, and meat presented in a certain way. If you go to Cuba, you have rice with ropa vieja. And ropa vieja is the same minced meat with beans, with black beans. If you go to Venezuela, you have el pabellón, and pabellón is the same: rice, black beans, and minced meat. It's just presently maybe different. Food is also a good example. Everyone thinks, like, for example, pasta, spaghetti. Spaghetti is Italian. No.
Chinese also, their pad thai.
Also, no, it is. If you, I have read. Well, I'm not going to show you more books, but I have been reading a lot about story about food.
Okay.
And the the pasta is not Italian, obviously. The pasta is Asian. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could have pasta and it could be a pad thai, rice.
Mm-hmm.
Rice is another perfect example. Actually, it's very good for here in Europe because rice you can have white rice, and we eat white rice a lot in Venezuela, in Cuba, etc. But rice comes actually from Asia also, and you could have rice biryani, which is Indian. You could have sushi and still be rice, but it's sushi. You could have paella and it's Spanish, yeah, or you could
Mm-hmm.
have a risotto and it's Italian, but still being rice. It's the same with dancing. It's the same with music. So
Mm-hmm.
when we label things, it's like, yeah, well, it's okay. Oh, this is Cuban, Cuban, Cuban. Yeah, a lot of composers, a lot. I would say 95% of the good composers that the music we play today covers is from Cuba. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then later a lot of Puerto Ricans came and also wrote. But if you think about it, all those 1920 to 1940, even 1950s, a lot of music written in Cuba was the one who was looped again and played in the 70s by Barreto or Willie
Mm-hmm.
Rosario, etc. And people think that it was them who wrote them, but it was not. It was Cuban. It was Cuba. So
Yes.
think it as food, rice.
It's
Always,
just the flavor, right? That you add
exactly,
and
exactly.
the style.
So you can never also say, yeah, it's Cuban, but also Cuba is like this because Africa and I don't know, Spain, French, or same in Venezuela. Why do we have tambor? Because all the tambor like culo de puya and sangueo and everything is it sounds very very Congo like, or
Mm-hmm.
Benin. If you go to Panama also,
Okay.
well, I'm not gonna get into the class, but it's a good example for when
Mm-hmm.
when we get into these discussions. I always try to like put a little bit of. You wouldn't say to a risotto it's a paella. The
Mm-hmm.
Spanish get like no, please, or the Italians get like no, we're just saying no, but it's the same. It's the same. It's
Mm-hmm.
rice at the end.
Do you, as musicians, do you get stage fright? Are you nervous before you go perform?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, if you, I mean, I've been. I would be a hypocrite if I tell you not.
Okay.
But sometimes for me, I don't even think about that because I'm like I told you, I do a lot of things. So I'm before a concert, I'm taking care that the money is paid, making sure all the guys are well dressed and they're not drinking, making sure that the sound is already like everything is good. We can start, and then putting all the cameras because we record all the
Mhm.
concerts and we do like a resume of the concert. So I don't have no one doing that. I do it
So
myself.
that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. So sometimes, I mean, I have found myself once. I think it was in Bulgaria once.
Mhm.
I jumped on stage and I wasn't even dressed because I was taking care of so many things and I forgot. I said, "Shit, I haven't dressed." You know? So sometimes it's not that I don't get nervous. It's like I'm nervous, but I have so many things going on at the
Mhm.
same time.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, everyone's. But it's a good nervous. It's not a
Yeah.
bad nervous because if
Mhm.
you get the bad nervous, like you get things on top of you, and that happened to me a lot actually
Mhm.
when I'm taking care not of the music. I don't get nervous because of the music. I get nervous, but all the things that got to go well, so the show
Mhm.
goes well.
Mhm.
So like I could be starting a song and yeah, I count and we start and everything is okay, and I don't know, something happened and I forgot maybe that something was going to, I don't know, count a mambo, something like that,
Mhm.
or sometimes I think in France once the organizers they're like, come on, what are you waiting? You have to play now. It's like, whoa, you said in half hour. No, no, no. I freaked out
Mhm.
because in a way, for me, organizers are the client. You
Mhm.
know. So
Mhm.
if you want us to play at 12, we're gonna be there at 11:30.
Mhm.
Okay. If you say at 12, we'll be there at 12. But if an organizer tells me, oh no, you play in half hour, and 5 minutes pass. They say, why are you waiting? Come on, you have to go. I was like,
No, this is the worst. This is the worst. If anything, then we usually delay a bit, right? Because we're waiting for people.
well, yeah, for musicians it's bad because it's
Yeah.
like you are very tired of traveling. Sometimes you could be traveling for, I don't know, 5 days in a row, airplane, go sound check, eat bad, go to play, go to the airport again, and then when you go to the hotel, you want to rest, and they tell you, no, the concert is at 12, so be there at 11:30. Okay, and then it's at 12, and they haven't picked us up in the lobby. And 12:30, and then they call you. It's like, no, one more hour. You just lost.
No,
2
this is
hours
like,
of
I
sleep.
mean, this doesn't happen. I mean, I'm talking about
No,
15, 20 minutes.
this never happens in
In congresses.
dance, in congresses, in festivals. Never happen. It's very. That's something that I really like to play in congresses because they are very organized, and you could be delayed, but 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that's nothing. But when we do like Latin stuff, especially, like Latin festivals and stuff like that, it's we know already that it could be chaos in the matter of timing, because they tell you normally you play at 1 or 2 in those festivals, so we'll pick you up at 1:30. So you are in the hotel at 11 because you just finished have dinner. So okay, we have 2 hours to sleep. Everyone goes to sleep, everyone wakes up, a little numb, and then you go down to the lobby, and the guy's right like 5 minutes before and says, no, we're gonna wait half hour. It's like, I could have slept half more hour. So we wait there, take a coffee, whatever, and then half hour later he's like, hey, we're gonna wait until 3:30, and it's 2. It's like, and when this happens, like, everyone obviously gets mad. You go right to the place, and you're already like, you just want to get over with it. Psychologically, it's not good to the show.
I understand. What are your dream projects for the future?
Well, I'm working now. Actually, well, I cannot show you, but I'm working now. We're gonna do an album talking about Cuba. It's gonna be like kind of a tribute to Cuban music.
Okay.
So I'm working on. We're selecting. It's gonna be half of it is gonna be covers, but it's gonna be covers of songs that haven't been too much in use. Like, we're not gonna do, I don't know, El Cuarto de Tula. It's not. So we're working on it's gonna be quite Cuban but traditional, not timba, like son montuno, guarachas, chachas, and stuff like that. Yeah.
And where do you see yourself and Tromboranga in 10 years?
Whoa.
Okay, 5. No.
I hope I last those 10 years. You just asked something that's very emotional in a way for me. I don't want to get there, but it's been a crazy month. I have friends that, well, they passed to another life, or some of them have illness, and they. So we don't know what we're gonna be in 5 years, really. So I'm kind of thinking now, like I told you before, like I'm planning, but I'm living the 100% every minute. So I hope 5 years or 10 years from now, I would love to even play more than we're playing. Do more concerts, but being able to take, like, let's say 2 months off. To not do anything, and then 10 months of touring and recording and stuff like that. I know it sounds very but going to therapy. Going to therapy has helped a lot to say this. I've done everything I wanted in my life already. Like, I wasn't expecting to be to have Tromboranga. I mean, it was a dream, but I wasn't expecting to being able to go to Cali, and the people sings our songs, and they go crazy with the, it's like, and we do this every year now. We go to La Feria de Cali, or we go to, I don't know, everywhere we go. It's nice to see that people loves what you do, and being appreciated also by the top, like the more exigent people in the planet to hear that salsa, which is like
Yeah.
Colombia, Puerto Rico. So so I'm happy. It's like I mean, if I keep recording and people likes this next album or not, we'll be okay. It's like we are invited anyway to go to Cali or to all these countries that are very hard to get to play to play our music. So and it's not cheap for them to bring us also, because
Of
they
course.
tend to bring bands from Puerto Rico, which is $200 a ticket,
Yeah.
but from Europe it's 1,000. So
It's crazy.
I
Like I had adolescentes contracted, and actually I even paid of half of the price. But then COVID came, and right now I cannot even imagine being able to finance the travel from.
it's crazy.
Crazy.
So I really do feel lucky, and I'm very grateful to, and I think all in Tromboranga, all of us are very grateful that we're able to go to Mexico, Ecuador, I don't know, Colombia, USA. Like it's not cheap to bring them from Europe because they have all the Puerto Rican bands.
Of
For
course.
them we are like a competition, but it's
But
in
they
a way,
still see the value, so that's an achievement.
yeah. So yeah, it's
We have a longer comment and question. Can you scroll and read it, because
wait,
it's in Spanish? More.
wait, because I am quiet.
Okay. This is a longer, so I don't want to hurt your ears with my Spanish.
She's saying, you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I had to switch on lights.
Nope.
Yes, I'm
You hear me?
here. Yes.
Wait.
Can
You hear me?
on my side is all good.
You hear me?
It's yours. Yes, I hear you.
Okay.
I hear
Now.
you.
Okay. Yeah. No, because I wasn't hearing you.
Okay.
She's saying she was talking to a friend about the new generation of musicians. They don't know which songs made a difference on those, I guess, on the 70s and 60s. Because if we compare with bachata, there is always new songs, and with new songs with good quality. Sometimes DJ keep putting 70 music from the 70s. So she thinks there is we need more orchestras that do more music of the 70s, so they could appreciate more the
Covers.
70s. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there is a lot of bands now. I mean, it's just about looking and stuff. It's true that a lot of bands, for me as a client, as a civil, and someone who hears music, for me a lot of bands sounds the same, and that's because they use a lot of. I talked about this last week in another interview, that they use a lot of tune on computers to put everything perfect, and that takes away the feeling of it. So all of them sounds perfect, yeah, beautiful, but all of them sounds the same. That's why I think Tromboranga, we have a lot of personality, because we do mistakes, and the mistakes are on the albums, and we play live and we do mistakes, and it's part of your personality. It's like talking. I know I don't speak perfect English, but it's part of my personality. I express my personality through it. Same example with pictures. Like, if you put lots of filters in a picture, you're gonna look like it's
like
more
anyone else, and not like you.
With music, it's the same. Music happens the same. So for me, it is important. Like a lot of guys from other bands, sometimes like students that I have, they send me their albums and stuff. And what do you think? And it's like it's good, but they, if you process everything to sound perfectly tuned, etc., it's not worth it, because you're losing. It's like me. Like, I'm bald. Yeah. Like, if I put a wig now, what? Who cares? I'm gonna look like everyone. Like everyone has to have
Yeah.
their own. I like my teeth. So I have one teeth like
Mm-hmm.
broken to one side.
Yeah.
It's me. It's my personality. Why I'm gonna put my perfect teeth. It's everyone has their own thing.
Yeah, the
And
beauty of imperfection.
exactly. Yeah. And salsa, especially salsa. Salsa it has to be analog. It has to be felt. It cannot
I
be.
remember when I got into the salsa community, because I came from ballet and contemporary dance, and I loved the dirtiness. I mean, the naturality of salsa, the way social dancers dance. It was kind of, you know, uh, maybe imperfect shapes, but it was very organic, very
Exactly.
wild. And I remember, like, for instance, Grisel was my biggest inspiration. Grisel Ponce from Puerto Rico, from New
Puerto
York.
Rico. Yeah.
Mm, and now I feel, because the dance has developed, so a lot of people have a lot of tools to learn, and the dance becomes a lot more perfect. And I'm missing that little, that dirty
Yeah.
aspect of
And
moving.
become more perfect. Perfect is relative also. For me, it's not becoming
Yes.
perfect. For me, but the thing is that obviously I'm from the 70s, and I think the new generations, the people who were born in 1998, for example, or
Mm.
even someone that's 23-year-old now, for example, yeah, it's not so used to hear what we did in the 70s,
Yeah.
even though they hear it. It's not the same
Mhm.
thing because they have a lot of more stuff like bachata now. If you hear bachata,
Yeah.
all the bachata music now, it's done electronically. I
Yeah.
don't care what they say. It is
Yeah.
electronical. Like they put
Mhm.
perfect pitch, perfect
Mhm.
timing. Everything sounds beautiful. And yeah, they are developing the ear for computer perfection. Is what
Mhm.
I call.
Mhm.
Uh, but doesn't have any feeling at all for me.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
I would rather hear Los Muñequitos de Matanza speeding up, and
Mhm.
maybe the voice is a little bit break, but that's like
It's alive. It's alive.
it's
So.
yeah. So I think I don't know where we're going. It's hard to tell for me, but computers and all these apps for fixing tune
Face.
and things.
Okay.
It's take well also yeah. It's it's bringing us to it's like a you know dating, like social dating. Like if you see
Mhm.
someone in this, like, I don't know, Tinder, whatever,
Mhm.
speaking raw, and it looks like, oh, she looks like beautiful, and then you go there and it's like you know a lot of
It's a different person.
a different person. It's like, why you are doing publicity of yourself like this if the reality is other one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's I think that's something that has worked a lot for Tromboranga, that we still, and we will still, being like ourselves. We don't
Do
want to
you?
sound perfect. I especially, I mean,
Mhm.
if you hear any timbalero will tell you, oh, he did this wrong here, or the conga was, oh, that's not. It was the moment. It was a picture of the moment, and it has that speeding up a little bit, slowing down a little bit.
Mhm.
It's got heart. It's like, I don't know.
Do you play bachata?
No,
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 like, I'm
because I don't
wondering,
like it.
because
No,
the
because
trend is, yeah.
yeah, I don't like it. I'm very honest to myself. I
But
have
even
a lot
like
of people.
proper instrumental bachata, with music and all, not electronic.
I think the only bachata I really like I could kind of
Hmm.
hear, is obviously Juan Luis Guerra,
Hmm.
and traditional bachata, like real play. Like seeing
Hmm.
a real bachata band, like from the Dominican
Yeah.
Republic, is nice for me to see. But I don't like it. It doesn't
Hmm.
mean that it's bad.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a different thing. It works. It's good. I like it because it's natural. But after the third song, fourth song, it's already too much for me.
It's too,
It's like
yeah, too much of the
I'm
same.
not. I'm not gonna say names. Like I know because I have people offer me money to. I don't know why they think they want to do this to me. I guess it's because of the name, but to record a bachata.
Hmm.
Seriously, I'm not kidding.
I can
Seriously, they have
imagine. I can
offered
imagine.
money to because they want to play a bachata with trombone. It's like, I don't like bachata. I don't see myself
Hmm.
doing it.
Hmm.
It happens the same with me with teaching. Like I could teach conga, I teach timbal, and I play a little bit of darbuka, and I have learned tablas, but I don't teach that. Even though I could, but it's like I don't feel. It's not because I don't like it. It's just that I don't feel good doing something that I don't really have
Okay.
kind of master in a way, or kind of really dig deep into it. And bachata, since I don't like it too much, I haven't like been on top of it. So
Okay. And
that's
what's your relationship with the dancers? Like, can dancers walk? You have
give
to
me
go.
one. No, no, no. I don't have to go. Give me 1 minute because I have to put the computer is gonna turn off.
Okay. Okay.
Just run out of
Okay.
time. Just
I'm
1 minute.
here. This is gonna be my marketing break. Just remember, Tromboranga is coming to elSol. Live prices are growing also tomorrow night. So if you guys want to book it now. In 10 days, we're starting elSol in Katowice. And what else? He's back. Great.
Okay. Okay.
You're back. So I wanted just to hear, because dancers also are going to watch this. Do you watch dancers dance to your music, for instance, or do you let them go on stage? What's
Yeah.
your relationship and with who maybe in the industry?
A lot. I love watching dancers. I that's why I have a lot of dancers also on the videos.
Okay.
And also we have dancers when we play live.
Okay.
Everyone is welcome to dance, as long as they don't put the microphones off.
Okay.
But I always, when I was young, there's not too many people know about this. It's a little bit
Okay.
secret. But when I was between 11 and 15 years old, I mean, I used to do martial arts and stuff, but I used to love breakdance. So I used to dance a lot of breakdance, and I used to do a lot of like Michael Jackson stuff. I used to like we used to get in the school, in the high school, go to a corner, and we were like 4 of us, and we used to practice a lot, stuff like this. And actually, well, that's a long story, but I'm not gonna make it now. So I was really into like dancing, like seeing dancers also and copying movements of breakdance and stuff like that. Then later with salsa, when I got here to Europe, I started watching more the people dancing, because for me it was very curious, like why so much perfection? Like, it was because they wanted to dance like, like very like this perfectly, in Venezuela, Colombia, even Cuba, because I've been in Cuba, they're not that clean, like
Yeah.
it's more
Organic.
yeah, organic, and they used to think a lot. So I started watching the people dance, and they started asking me questions about the music and what I was playing, etc. So I learned to watch the feed and try to follow what they were playing. And I figured out that people here are dancing by memory. They memorize moves, but they don't really know where it has to step.
Okay.
So they were stepping somewhere between 1, 2, 3, 4, the bar, and they got from 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, but the precise, it was not,
Okay.
and you could tell that when I went to see the shows. So, well, I'm not gonna say names. So some dancers came to me to ask me about what the conga was doing here and blah 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 blah, and that's how I started actually doing the musicality courses.
Okay.
Because they asked me to explain this at a course, and it was like a big deal after I did. Like I started getting calls from everyone to make, and that was like, I don't know, 15 years ago. I started getting calls for this. So I started being very curious about seeing the dancers when they were dancing on two, why they were doing this and that, and now I really do watch dancers when I play. I for me it's like a weird how you say this like a voyeur. I don't know how you say that.
Say that again.
Voyeur, like these people who see people's making love like that. Like it's like
Okay.
porn. It's like porn.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
when I'm playing, I want to see I want to see how they are dancing the dance floor, and because I'm curious, because a lot of people, is what I'm telling you, sometimes they just dance the steps,
just by without hearing it
yeah,
properly.
the mechanic of it, but not on time, out of time. So I really work now on the musicality courses to make a lot of effort on everyone that comes, see how they dance, make sure that they understand what pulse is and where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is, because also a lot of teachers sometimes count bad or say stuff bad, like say there is a syncopation where there is not a syncopation, or there is an offbeat where there is not offbeat. Terminology also is very important for teachers. I worked a lot on that with teachers, because it happens a lot that dancers sometimes they say something that is musical by their own terminology, and they make it like a word that's going to be in vogue. Syncopation. Everyone is talking about syncopation now, and that's not syncopation what you're doing there.
It's just a faster step.
Yeah, or like I had the situation, for example, in one festival that a guy was saying that, okay, syncopation, and they were turning. And they were turning on one syncopation. It's like, that's not a syncopation. No. So details like this, and it gets confused also the students. The same with dancing on two, that people count 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. That's not a 5. It's a 4.5. But then when they go, like I have had students that come here, why I don't look like, I don't know, Eddie Torres, because he's doing this basic step and I don't look like him. It's like, because you're stepping on 5, but he's counting 5. It's like, no, that's not a 5.
The 5, it's a lot longer than a 5.
It's before the 5. It's before the 5. So those little things are very important when you're teaching to someone, especially someone new. Because when you teach someone new, these little details are very important in the long term, because it's not, they don't see themselves dancing the same way that they do. It's like martial arts. I don't know, if you teach to kick away and not doing the little tricks how to kick good, you're gonna get hurt. Obviously, this is not boxing, but it's kind of like the same. He's gonna get hurt because he's dancing on the number 5 that he's not. That's why he sees himself when he steps out of time. Yeah, things like this are very important. Also for shows, I like to watch shows and get like very picky and critical about it. Because
go ahead.
Because some people, a lot of dancers sometimes call me to show. They send me, please don't show this, but check this out. What do you think of it? Am I hitting good? I mean, because sometimes they kick and they do a kick and it's like, it's an offbeat on 3.5 and they are doing it on 3. Bang. So it's not precisely where it should be. And that on show is for me, it's very important. Like you gotta go with the music, not pound. Or if it's a flam, and then someone does something like more long, when it's which is very dry. It's like a dry sound. You don't want a long movement. So, and same with grooves. Like you see someone, I don't know, there's a bomba from Puerto Rico sounding, and they start dancing guaguancó out of context. So these things are very important for me. I'm very curious to see.
How many hours do you need to actually transmit? I'm not even saying about how people are getting it, but just for you to get out this basic knowledge for salseros to be better dancers on the dance floor. Because it looks like a lot of content. It's not really 1 hour.
Oh, no. Well, this is like going to the gym. Are you going to get fit in one class, in 1 hour of gym? No. You need to do it. I mean, for example, if you go to the gym, I cannot tell you when are you going to get fit, like fit. You're going to get fit sooner or later. If you keep going, you will. In 3 months, maybe a year, maybe 6 months, you never know, but you will. It depends on how intense you do it. But you never know when, but you still need to do it every day. If you go to a course and you do it one hour, I can explain it to you, the basics.
Mm-hmm.
But those basics are dangerous because then your curiosity is going to start saying, but why is this like that? And then that's going to start going you to another brand. And then you're going to start, oh, so actually you guys sing on 4, but we dance on 8, but the clave, it's 2 bars. And if I'm dancing on clave, I was dancing cross, but he was teaching us the 3-2 clave, but the song was in 2-3. And that's dangerous because then you're getting obsessed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like a muscle. Like you go one day to the gym, you do legs and abdominals. The next day you do biceps and I don't know, back. Then you go again to this, and everything is gonna develop. You know, it's not gonna work 1 hour. I do courses of 1 hour, but it's just like the basics to make like really big people's basics. But these courses sometimes, like I was one in, I think it was in somewhere in Spain, I don't remember, and it was a 2-hour course, and it ended up being a 7-hour.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't like people brought me food, and we kept talking. I felt bad because even was Johnny Vasquez on the other class, and like people still on the same class. But it was nice because you could see that even though it was little people, it was only 15. They were really into it. Like, but I told them the same. This is a muscle. Like, if you go 7 hours in the gym, you're gonna be sore the next day, but that doesn't mean you're gonna get fit. You need to practice it every day. So I kind of give them like all the. We do
so
like
7 hours is a good course during a festival.
Well, we do like, for example, in Benidorm, we do 2-hour course on 5 days.
Okay.
So, and it's good for people to digest. But also remember that this is not like a pill that you take a pill and you learn it already. No, it needs digestion.
I think, yeah. I mean, as a festival, we try to inspire and feed people's passion so they continue in their own time.
Yeah. So, if you do the basic 1 hour, 2 hours is okay, but then you're gonna start thinking about clave. Hola.
That's
Hello.
My daughter. If you're here, you might as well come over. You're in Sarpsy. This is my big daughter.
Hola.
Hi.
You're talking to the elSol community. Okay.
So yeah, it is important. It is important, especially if you're a teacher, or you're teaching or doing choreographies, shows, to understand a lot of. I would say not as a musician, but a lot of music theory and history, and well, what they call musicality. A lot of people don't like to call it musicality because they say that no, you have to dance if you. So I'm not a dancer. I mean, I could show you moves, but I'm not a dancer. I could dance, but musicality involves a lot of things. You gotta know what musical genre you're dancing. You gotta know how to count and where the clave works, how it works, where syncopation, where offbeats are, how the harmony works.
Now I actually feel bad, for not having this course available at elSol because there's I feel like it would be a great reason to join the festival.
Some other year, don't worry.
This
I'll
year
come back.
Too late.
I like Poland.
Okay, you like Poland? Okay, that's a good start. Yes,
I came back.
Okay, I think you have to go now.
Yes,
Joaquin.
I gotta go pick up my son.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to getting to know you in person soon.
Sure.
You guys, you're gonna have your own VIP room, so just you'll be able to relax there, and no rum before the.
Just a little shot.
Okay.
I hope to see you all in festival.
Katowice is the city. Yes.
Okay, Katowice.
Thank you so much, and we can still just sum up for us here in the StreamYard, when I disconnect the community. Great. Thank you guys for joining, for asking questions and contributing. This is going to be saved on elSol profile, so we can always go back to it. Thank you. Have a great evening. Ending on Instagram. And